This is Morocco. Most people think of it as a place for vacations. But while no one was paying attention, this North African country quietly became an industrial giant. In just 2 decades, Morocco transformed from a low-income to a middle-income economy. It is now the 5th largest African economy, and the World Economic Forum placed Morocco as the most competitive economy in North Africa. It produces over 500,000 cars every year, and recently overtook South Africa to become Africa's largest car producer. It's become a major player in renewable energy, and it's built infrastructure, ports, railways, industrial zones that most African countries can only dream of. The transformation is real, and it happened fast. But numbers don't tell you how, and the how is where the real story lives. Starting in the 1960s, Morocco instituted a series of development plans. Their major goals were to increase production in agriculture and fisheries, to make the country self-sufficient in food, and to develop key sectors like energy, industry, and tourism to reduce its dependence on foreign loans. But the real transformation came in the early 2000s, when Morocco made a bold bet: build the infrastructure before the factories arrive. Most countries wait for investment, then scramble to create the conditions manufacturers need. Morocco flipped that script. They built dedicated industrial zones with specialized infrastructure, custom regulations, and direct access to logistics, needed to function as a competitive industrial and logistics hub. Essentially saying to global manufacturers, everything you need is already here. Just show up. As a result, Morocco enjoyed strong economic growth, fueled by public investment in infrastructure.
The development of Tangier Med marked a true milestone, which makes Morocco the gateway of African markets, also the European ones, Asia, and the Americas. With over 180 ports across more than 70 countries, Tangier Med is now Africa's largest port, handles close to 10 million containers a year, and ranks among the world's busiest ports. While much of Africa still grapples with congested, less integrated ports, Morocco built a facility that rivals anything in Europe. But here's the genius part. Morocco didn't just build a port, they built an entire industrial ecosystem around it. Today, more than 150 industrial zones operate in Morocco. Tangier Med alone hosts over 1,400 firms across manufacturing, logistics, services, and technology. Together, they function like self-contained industrial cities, with everything manufacturers need: low operating costs, simplified regulations, duty-free exports, and suppliers right next door. If you want to build a factory, Morocco streamlined the process so much that companies can get approval and complete construction in as little as 5 months. The government offered subsidies of up to 35% to manufacturers willing to put factories in the rural hinterlands. This positioning has helped Morocco insert itself into global supply chains. Foreign investment has risen swiftly. Since 2020 alone, Morocco has attracted about $40 billion in greenfield manufacturing investment, making it one of the top destinations globally. But the transformation is most visible in automotive. Car firms have invested more than $8 billion since 2012, roughly a quarter of the total foreign investment. From Renault to Stellantis, with over 250 companies, with a significant increase, now manufacture cars or car components in Morocco, where the auto industry accounts for over 1/5 of industrial output, generating roughly $14 billion in export revenues. The results? Morocco surpassed China to emerge as Europe's top supplier of cars and parts, reinforcing its position as a manufacturing giant. Roughly 90% of Morocco's automotive exports are destined for Europe. As wages rise across Europe, Morocco has become one of the cheapest, most efficient locations in the world to assemble a car. Once Morocco proved it could handle complex, just-in-time manufacturing in the automotive sector, another industry took notice: aerospace. The industry was not even present 2 decades earlier. Today, around 150 aerospace firms operate in the country, including Boeing, Airbus, and Safran. Morocco is steadily moving up the value chain, from basic wiring to higher-value aerospace manufacturing manufacturing. None of this happens by accident. The success was possible because of investor-friendly policies of King Mohammed VI, Morocco's leader. Especially with the industrial acceleration plans, the government's goal evolved. To please overseas businesses, his government is consistently investing 25 to 35% of GDP on infrastructure, among the highest rates in the world, with a primary focus on electricity generation through renewables, ports, railways, and highways. Morocco's free trade agreement with the European Union and preferential trade deals with over 60 countries has been a central factor in attracting European manufacturers. For European firms in particular, manufacturing in Morocco is almost like manufacturing inside the EU. Additionally, Morocco is also the only African country with a free trade agreement with the United States. As a result, Tesla officially entered the Moroccan market in May 2025. This strategy leads to significant FDI. Between 2010 and 2017, Morocco successfully transformed its economy by boosting the manufacturing sector's share of FDI from roughly 15 to 37%, driven largely by gains in the automotive industry, which helped Morocco maintain manufacturing's contribution to GDP at around 15%, countering the pattern of premature deindustrialization seen in many developing economies. While Morocco's manufacturing exports now contain a significantly higher share of medium-tech products than regional peers like Tunisia and Egypt, its share of high-tech exports remains far below Asian industrial powerhouses such as China and Taiwan, reflecting constraints in domestic R&D intensity and advanced technology creation. However, the heavy focus on FDI has indeed created a strong economic dichotomy, as domestic SMEs, which constitute about 90% of Moroccan firms, often struggle to participate in industrial ecosystems dominated by foreign firms with strict quality standards. However, the country's industrial growth faces a critical challenge: adequate power supply. To address this issue, Morocco made significant investments in renewable energy. Morocco hosts one of the world's largest solar power plants, called Noor Ouarzazate Solar Complex, which costs over $9 billion. Additionally, extensive wind farms along the Atlantic coast helps stabilize electricity availability and mitigate the impact of fluctuating fossil fuel prices. Morocco now derives over 40% of its installed electricity capacity from renewables, with a target of 52% by 2030. This strategic move has created a more secure environment for factories to operate. Here comes the polysilicon. Polysilicon is an ultra-pure form of silicon essential for producing semiconductors and solar panels, crucial components for technologies ranging from smartphones and EVs. China currently produces over 90% of the world's polysilicon. To overcome the dependency, US is developing an $870 million polysilicon manufacturing plant in Morocco. The project may serve as the foundation for a green manufacturing corridor in North Africa and strengthens Morocco's growing reputation as a renewable energy leader. In September 2023, Morocco launched its Digital Morocco 2030, a strategy to triple the digital sector's contribution to GDP from 7% to 20% by 2030, with a goal to become a digital hub connecting with rest of the world by investing in digital infrastructure, skills, and global connectivity. Morocco leads North Africa in digital progress, which simultaneously reflects genuine progress toward digital Morocco. Tourism, meanwhile, remains a powerful economic pillar. More than 18 million tourists visited the kingdom this year, which constitutes around 7% of GDP, consolidating Morocco's image as both a destination and a gateway. Taken together, this is what Morocco built. While much of North Africa faced revolutions and repeated political shocks, Morocco maintained relative stability and consistent economic policies. That stability turned Morocco into a low-risk environment for global manufacturers. In a world where wars and geopolitical tensions can disrupt supply chains instantly, Morocco offered reliability, allowing firms to invest with confidence. But no country's trajectory is perfect, and beneath Morocco's modernization success lies a growing challenge. The United States remains a central pillar of Morocco's strategic orientation. In 2020, US formally recognized Morocco's sovereignty over Western Sahara, a disputed territory territory contested between Morocco and Polisario Front. This recognition carries weight beyond symbolism. The disputed territory contains one of the world's largest phosphate mines. Phosphates are critical not only for global food security through fertilizer production, but increasingly for modern industry. Morocco holds around 70% of global phosphate reserves, making it the world's largest exporter and third largest producer globally. This dominance provides Morocco with significant strategic leverage in an era where food security and industrial inputs are matters of national security. Yet resource wealth alone cannot sustain long-term development. Despite rising exports and industrial success, internal pressures continue to test the country's economic equilibrium. Overall, unemployment hovers around 13%, but among 15 to 24-year-olds, it soars to 35%. Even more troubling, roughly 1 in 3 young Moroccans are trapped in the informal sector, with little job security or prospect for advancement. This employment crisis reflects Morocco's core contradiction. The country has built world-class infrastructure that has helped nearly halve poverty rates and bring parts of the Northwest to living standards comparable with Southern Europe. Morocco now ranks 82nd out of 183 countries in the 2023 Global Youth Development Index, third best in Africa. Yet most foreign investment and high-value jobs remain concentrated along the Casablanca-Rabat-Kenitra corridor, while inland and southern regions lag far behind. The result is what analysts call a two-speed Morocco, an export-driven, infrastructure-rich economy that has generated wealth but not opportunity at scale. Growth has averaged below 4% since 2011, which is insufficient to absorb new entrants into the labor market, particularly as Morocco experiences a pronounced demographic youth bulge. Must increase investment in human capital and explore new engines for growth beyond manufacturing, particularly knowledge-intensive services. The real test isn't just about exporting more, it's about climbing further up the value chain and ensuring new opportunities reach well beyond the other sides. Morocco's economic ambitions extend far beyond its borders. After 33 years of self-imposed absence, Morocco's return to the African Union in 2017 signaled the kingdom's intent to position itself as a continental leader. Morocco has become second largest investor in sub-Saharan Africa, with outbound FDI surging from just $100 million in 2014 to over $800 million by 2021, with 43% of Morocco's FDI now flowing to African nations. Beyond Africa, the kingdom enjoys close ties with Gulf states, benefiting from financial aid and investment in return for political support. In 2020, Morocco joined the Abraham Accords, normalizing relations with Israel. Yet foreign policy successes and infrastructure achievements cannot, on their own, resolve Morocco's domestic contradictions. The harder question is whether it can translate that success into broad-based prosperity, creating quality jobs, opportunities, and social mobility that its young population demands. The kingdom's stability and its claim to being Africa's next economic success story will ultimately depend on the answer.